Okay, so are you ready to like really dive deep today?
I think so, yeah.
I think you are. I think you are.
Get me.
All right, so we're tackling the Joe Rogan Experience.
Ooh, big one.
Big one, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they know everything about Joe Rogan,
Right.
but I think there's more to uncover.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to look at how this podcast went from just like casual chats
Yeah.
to a global phenomenon
Mm.
and the reasons behind the massive appeal.
Mm-hmm.
But also we're going to look at some of the criticisms that it faces
Right.
and how it has impacted the entire media landscape.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And it's kind of crazy to think about like where it started.
I know.
Like you said, like casual chats back in 2009,
Yeah.
just Joe Rogan talking to his friends.
Right.
And it's exploded into this
Isn't
thing.
that massive?
It is massive, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think part of it is Rogan himself, like his interviewing style.
Mhm.
He's so curious and he's willing to go there
Yeah.
with any topic.
Yeah, he's just so open-minded.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think people are drawn to that.
Totally. I mean, you feel like you're just sitting there with them,
Yeah.
eavesdropping on a conversation that could go literally anywhere.
Exactly. And it often does.
And he has had so many different types of guests.
Oh my gosh, yes, from scientists like Neil deGrasse Tyson
DeGrasse Tyson.
to Elon Musk to comedians,
Athletes.
politicians.
Yeah, you name it. He's probably had them on
Probably.
at some point. Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest keys to his success.
Yeah.
Just the diversity of guests.
Mm.
I mean, there's literally something for everyone.
Right. And it keeps things interesting. Like, you never know who's going to show up next.
Yeah, and it's not just who he has on, it's the kind of conversations they have.
Right?
I mean, these are long form,
Yeah?
2-3 hour, sometimes even longer conversations.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely gotten lost in a few of those.
I've fallen asleep to them.
I've listened to them while I'm, like, doing other things.
Yeah, exactly. It's background noise sometimes.
You don't get that in a typical interview,
No, you really don't.
like on a late-night talk show.
Exactly. It's all very surface level.
Yeah.
You know,
Quick sound bites.
gotta get the clickbait moment.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then move on.
But with Rogan, you get, like, these deep dives
Mm-hmm.
into all these complex ideas. And I think it's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Yeah.
Like, you really reveal the nuance,
the complexity.
the complexity.
Yeah.
And you get to know the guests, too.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like you see their personalities.
Yeah.
You see their passions. You even see their flaws sometimes.
Yeah, you see them as like well-rounded human beings.
Yeah.
Which is not something you always get with public figures.
No, especially these days. It's like everything is so curated,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, you just see the highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with Rogan, you get the raw, unfiltered version.
Yeah, it feels very authentic.
And real.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I do wonder if the like lack of editing does more harm than good.
Oh, especially when it comes to like controversial guests.
Right. And I mean, he has had his fair share.
He has, and that's where we get into the criticism and controversy
Yeah.
that surrounds JRE.
Right.
Some people are very concerned about him giving a platform to these figures
Mm-hmm.
and worry that he's spreading misinformation or amplifying extreme views.
Yeah. I mean, there have been some guests on there who have said some pretty out there things.
Definitely. And, you know, while Rogan argues that he's just promoting open dialogue,
Right.
some critics say that this open door policy can actually be quite dangerous.
Yeah. Especially when you're talking about things like health and science,
Right.
where misinformation can have real-world consequences.
Absolutely. And there were definitely some instances during the pandemic
Yeah.
where guests shared opinions on COVID-19 and vaccines that just didn't line up with the scientific consensus.
Right.
And that sparked a lot of debate about Rogan's responsibility as
Yeah.
someone with such a huge platform.
Has Rogan ever addressed this criticism directly?
He has. He's acknowledged the concerns.
Okay.
And he's made some adjustments to his approach.
Like what?
Well, for example, he's brought on more experts
Okay.
to offer counterpoints to some of the more controversial claims.
So he's trying to present a more balanced perspective.
Yeah, he's trying to give listeners all sides of the story.
And do you think that's effective?
I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction,
Yeah.
but it's still a complex issue.
It is. It is.
And I think ultimately it's up to each individual listener
Right.
to evaluate the information that they're hearing.
To be critical thinkers.
Exactly.
To do their own research.
And to form their own conclusions.
Yeah, because these conversations that happen on Rogan,
Yeah.
they don't just stay on the podcast.
Oh, no, they definitely don't.
They spill out into social media.
Yeah.
They get picked up by news outlets. I mean, it's clear that Rogan is shaping public discourse
Oh, absolutely.
on a wide range of issues.
Yeah, he's having a real cultural impact.
And it's not just like a U.S. thing either.
No, it's global.
Millions of listeners worldwide.
It is, yeah.
So these conversations are happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
And that's why it's even more important to be critical of what you're hearing.
Yes, because these ideas are spreading far and wide.
Exactly.
And we need to be aware of that.
Yeah, and I think Rogan's success also points to a larger trend
Yeah.
in how people are consuming media.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are kind of over traditional media outlets.
Yeah, they're losing trust in those institutions.
Yeah.
And they're turning to independent voices
Like Rogan.
like Rogan
Yeah.
for news and information.
And I think that's one of the reasons why that Spotify deal
Oh, yeah.
was so huge.
That was massive.
It was massive. I mean, $100 million.
Totally.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, and it really solidified Rogan's influence.
In the podcasting world,
Yeah.
but also just in media in general.
It showed that podcasts could be big business.
Yeah.
Like serious business.
Yeah. Yeah. Spotify was willing to invest that much money because they saw the potential
Of Rogan's audience.
of Rogan's audience. Yeah.
And that audience is huge, and it's only getting bigger.
Right. And that brings up like a really important question.
What's that?
What role do these podcasts like Rogan
Yeah,
play in shaping how we understand the world?
that's a good question.
Are we being critical enough?
As listeners,
Yeah.
are we challenging our own biases?
Are we open to hearing different viewpoints?
Yeah, because it's easy to just fall into these echo chambers
Yeah.
where we only hear what we want to hear.
Right.
And that's not how we grow.
It's not how we learn.
No.
So the Joe Rogan Experience, this podcast that is both praised
Yeah.
and condemned,
Mm.
it's disrupted the media landscape.
It really has.
And it's forced us to really look at how
Yeah.
we consume information
Especially in this digital age
in this digital age. Yeah.
where information is coming at us from all directions.
All the time.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap up here, I'm curious what stands out to you as like the most impactful aspect of Rogan's journey.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. There's a lot to consider.
Yeah, I mean, is it the power of long-form conversation? Is it the fact that he's challenging traditional media?
Or is it the responsibility that comes with having a platform
As big as his?
as big as his? Yeah.
I don't know if I have a single answer,
I don't either.
but it's definitely something worth thinking about.
It is. And I think that's what's so fascinating about Rogan.
Yeah.
He makes us think
It does.
about all of these things.
Yeah, and that's something.
All right. Well, that's our deep dive on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
We could probably talk about this for hours,
Oh, definitely.
but we'll leave it there for now.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you next time.
See ya.